Well, Rachel Reeves's dark secret has finally surfaced, and Starmer isn't the only member of the Labour Party to have lied. And it turns out that she is a total liar and scammer. In today's video, we'll discuss her dark secret and go over all the most recent news from throughout the nation, but first, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and join our rapidly expanding community. Just a brief note to let you know that our store now has new Stuck Farmer t-shirts available. You can get them at British.com or by clicking the link in the description, when the UK economy comes to a complete standstill. A growing number of people are coming forward to accuse Rachel Reeves of lying about her credentials after she was forced to make a humiliating climb down on her job history. Previously, she claimed on her LinkedIn profile that she worked as an economist, but now she changed it to retail banking. You would argue that there is nothing wrong with Reeves' decision to limit her career as an economist to her years at the Bank of England, but this is where things become interesting. Guido saw that Reeves had covertly altered her resume and renamed her time at the Bank of Scotland on her LinkedIn site. Reeves once claimed to be an economist there, but now she only claims to have worked in retail banking at HBO's. Fascinating, huh? And here's the catch. Guido claims that her actual position at HBO's wasn't exactly what you'd call high-powered economics. Instead, she worked in a small complaints team, the kind that deals with administrative procedures, fixes, and small projects. If you were thinking that her background as an economist somehow justified her proposals for large budgets, this might cause you to pause, but hold on, there's more at Treasury according to the source, who acknowledged that the LinkedIn profile was altered. She worked in retail banking in a variety of capacities, drawing from her experience as an economist in a complaints team. Her LinkedIn profile has been amended to reflect this. The spreadsheets must have been fascinating because politicians love to polish their resumes. It's practically a job requirement. However, when you're the shadow chancellor and you claim to be an expert in economics, people will question you. What do you think? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. This is the Fraud Act of 2006, which states that making false representations for one's own benefit or to harm another person can be considered fraud. This includes inflating credentials or work experience on a CV, Forgery and Counterfeiting Act of 1981. If the deception includes falsified documents, such as certifications, it may also be covered by this statute. At the very least, she has misled voters in her constituency and colleague party in other news reports. 5 individuals were convicted of killing Mason Rist and Max Dixon, 2 youths who were cruelly assaulted with machetes in a case of mistaken identity. Riley Tolliver 18 along with a 16-year-old boy, a 17-year-old boy and their getaway driver Anthony Snook 45 were convicted of both murders following a 6-week trial at Bristol Crown Court. A 5th individual, a 15-year-old boy, had already admitted to murdering Mason and was also convicted of murdering Max. Detective Superintendent Gary Haskins from Avon and Somerset Police explained that the 2 teenagers had simply been walking to get pizza when they were attacked. He described Max and Mason as beautiful boys who were just going about their day in their local community when they were senselessly targeted. According to police, the group had been driving around NL West searching for people they believed were responsible for an earlier attack on a house in the rival Hartcliffe area. The 2 boys were mistakenly identified as the culprits. Snook, driving an Audi Q2, circled the area multiple times before spotting Max and Mason. Convinced they had found their targets, the group stopped the car and launched their attack. The court heard how Max and Mason were pursued by Tour and the 3 adolescents with baseball bats and machetes. 2 attackers pursued each boy, with Tolliver and the 15-year-old aiming for Mason and the 16 and 17-year-old pursuing Max. Sadly, the attack only lasted 33 seconds, but it left both boys fatally injured. Snook, who drove the attackers to and from the scene, denied knowing about their weapons or intentions and stated that he thought he was only taking them to a safe house after the earlier incident in Hartcliffe. Despite his claims, Mason and Max passed away in the hospital early on January 28. Snook admitted in custody to hearing Mason scream during the attack and claimed he had to sort of join in, while the defendant's attorneys contended their clients did not intend to kill or seriously harm Mason. Max prosecutors claimed Snook was complicit in the revenge attack, telling the court that the group returned to NL West after the murders, disposed of evidence in a garden fire, and even stopped for a chilling McDonald's meal. Their claims were dismissed by the jury. Prosecutors emphasized the viciousness of the assault and the misidentification that resulted in the boys' deaths. Ultimately, justice was served, but the tragic loss of 2 innocent lives serves as a sobering reminder of the senselessness of such violence. A trial against the Sun's publishers is scheduled for January 2025, according to the Duke of Sussex's attorney, who has confirmed that Prince Harry's case against the News Group newspapers is still pending. The barrister representing the Duke of Sussex informed the High Court that Harry is one of 2 plaintiffs whose claims against him are still pending due to accusations of illegal information collection. This is the most recent development in the legal dispute between the royal and the media group. The legal action between Prince Harry and the Sun's publisher was chastised by a High Court judge last month, who said it was a campaign between obdurate yet well-resourced armies that was taking up too much court time. Mr. Justice Fainer expressed his concerns in a preliminary ruling where he resolved disputes between the legal teams for the Duke of Sussex and NGN over amendments to Harry's pleaded case. The judge stated, "I have previously indicated to the parties that this individual claim, although it raises important issues, is starting to absorb more than an appropriate share of the court's resources, contrary to the requirement in the overriding objective to deal with cases justly and at proportionate cost. A trial is scheduled for January 2025 at the High Court. NGN has previously denied any unlawful activity at the Sun. In his ruling, Mr. Justice Fainer highlighted the extensive disputes between the legal teams, noting, "I am faced with a table of disputes running to 44 pages with 49 separate items or groups of items disputed, only a handful of which were eventually agreed, and 34 pages of dense submissions by NGN in support of their objections." The judge granted permission for certain amendments to Harry's case, while upholding some of NG's objections. The judge also restated his prior position regarding the trial's timeline, stating that, "I have also previously indicated that this claim will not be adjourned and will be either tried in January 2025 or settled, since it was issued as far back as September 2019 and has been stood out of eligibility for 2 previous listed trial dates that remain the position." Fan. Mr. Justice FRC Court underlined the urgent need for swift resolution of the case, saying it is clearly imperative that the content of the pleaded case is resolved as soon as possible. The court expressed dissatisfaction with the ongoing conflicts, stating that it is, at the very least, unacceptable that the court should have to settle so much contentious material regarding revisions to a statement of case twice. He explained in closing that the urgency of the case and the impending trial preparations were the reasons his verdict was purposefully succinct. If you haven't already, please make sure to like this video and let me know what you think about the topics we covered in today's video in the comments box below. For more British political content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and be careful. Goodbye.